Heather Naomi has found somebody. We're going to ask them, do they really think God made the world?
Thanks, James. Mark, you actually believe in creation. Could you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, I absolutely do, and I've got major problems with the evolutionary theories and how they come about. And the two major questions. One is male and female. Now, we're told that they evolve slowly and with a series of mutations. Now, if you think about it carefully, you know, everything has to, with the male as with the female, develop simultaneously in a series of mutations that are not beneficial until they become reality. Now, and we're told this happens over and over again, many, many times, just making it worse. You know, so really, it's mind-boggling, really. The second one is really about our timing and dating methods. You know, we get a range of results like the Hawaii volcanoes. We know they erupted in 1801 and 1800, and yet we get results like 14.5 million and 3 billion years old. Limestone's supposedly 110 million years old, and yet they found 890-year-old wood inside it. Live snails dated at 27,000 years. I've really got to start wondering, really. Obviously something's wrong there. Maybe our geologist friend could help us out with that one.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks, Heather. When you stop to think about it, when Mark told me that at his house a while ago, I thought, yep, he's a real bloke, this guy. Mark's into hot rocks and hot chicks, and that's why he doesn't believe in evolution. Well, we've asked Warrick Pascoe to come with us as well. And why do you believe in creation, and what gives you the right to talk about it?
Well, for 10 years, I was an atheist, and for most of that time, I was also an exploration geologist. So I've seen things from both sides, James. And basically what changed is once I'd found that the God of the Bible is real, it caused me to re-look at the same evidence that I'd seen as a geologist, and now I was looking at it from a Christian perspective. So as I travelled the world for 7 years all over the place, I was seeing, for instance, immense thicknesses of sedimentary rock, which appear to have been laid down very rapidly, and they've captured zillions of fossils, some of them perfectly preserved. And you've got to wonder, how could that possibly happen little bit by little bit over time? And one of the main reasons as an atheist and a geologist I believed in the long ages was because you need that in order to take an amoeba and turn it into a man. It has to happen over a long period of time if it's ever going to happen at all.
Well, Warrick, I'd like to just ask you the question, because I don't think we've addressed Mark's point thoroughly. And Mark said, hey, look, you know, the volcanic rock that exploded is only a couple of 100 years old or 100 years old, fair enough, but it's dated billions of years. But the rock comes from inside the Earth. And the Earth might be billions of years old. So the dating method, does it work, or you're a geologist?
Well, one of the theories is that when you melt a rock, you reset the clock to zero, the radiometric clock. And so you have to start causing those parent isotopes to decay all over again because they've been reset to zero. The rock has been molten. But it's an assumption. And that's why they say that if you have a new lava flow, it shouldn't be coming up with dates of hundreds of thousands or millions of years old. The Hawaii one's just one example. There are many around the world. Even in our own country, Mount Narahoe erupted in the 40s, 50s and 70s.
In New Zealand?
In New Zealand. I mean, I saw it when it was erupting in the 70s, and they did potassium-argon dating on it. They took multiple samples, they had repeat sampling done, and it still came up with answers of between 230,000 and 3.5 million years old. So that causes you to question, as Mark did, is the radiometric dating absolute or not? And I would say to you, no, there are assumptions behind it, and it's not absolute.
So you believe there's evidence for creation?
Oh, abundant. For instance, Darwin said the rock should be filled with gazillions of transitional fossils, creatures which are sort of transitioning from one species to another. We have at best maybe a dozen disputable examples. And so that's not meeting the criteria for billions of years old, very slow genetic mutations. The evidence isn't there.
Well, thank you, Warrick.